Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Teacher Omar. Today I'm going to show you some golden tips, you know, to help you before and during the exam. Means the back exam, any exam that you want to take. All right. So I'm going to focus on things that you should do and things you shouldn't do. So let's first begin with the before the exam things we should do. So the first thing I advise you to do is you should look for a calm and suitable place for exam preparation. So when you want to prepare, you should look for a calm and suitable place for preparation because this is good for you to concentrate and to focus more. Okay, so second thing, you had better establish revision timetable for exam preparation. You should arrange your time. You should make a timetable for exam preparation. That is to say, for example, if you have 4 subjects in the exam, you should arrange timetable. For example, one day for example 2 subjects, and that will help you, of course, to arrange your timetable. Third thing I advise you to do is you need to work through some old exam papers. So you need to work through some old exam papers. Like you say, if you, for example, if you have English in your exam, you should look for some old exam papers, work for them, and then check your answers. Okay, because that will help you a lot to improve your work. All right. And the fourth thing you should do is it would be useful to form a study group with your intimate friends. It's better to work with intimate friends, at least group 3 or 4 students. We can work together, and this is will help you a lot. Now let's see things we shouldn't do before the exam. Okay, so the first one, you must stop going to classes when the exam gets nearer. Means you mustn't stop going to classes when the exam gets nearer, because maybe your teacher will review all the things you have seen together during these 2 semesters. Oh, good. So second thing, you shouldn't stay up late the night before the exam. I used to say, if you have an exam, you shouldn't stay at like 2 p.m., 1 p.m., and so on. You should sleep early, okay? At least 10 p.m. Then you can go to bed, okay? The third thing you shouldn't do is you shouldn't go the exam without having a healthy breakfast. Shouldn't go the exam without having healthy breakfast, okay? Have your breakfast first, take your breakfast, then think to the exam, right? And the fourth and the last thing you shouldn't do before the exam is you mustn't forget your identification papers. Means identity card and your invitation on the day of the exam, because this will have problem if you forget them. Okay, now it's time to see things you should do and you shouldn't do during the exam. While we are taking the exam, what things you should do and what are the things you shouldn't do. So the first thing you should do is you must take enough time to read the direction and questions. Take enough time to read the direction and the questions. Sometimes they will give you some instruction and you should follow them during the exam. Means take your time. If you have 3 hours, please stay there till 3 hours. You have 2 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, and 1 hour. Okay, so take your time. All right. Okay, second thing you should do, you had better start with easy questions. Okay, so for example, in English you will have comprehension question, language, and writing. So you should start with the easiest part. Means comprehension, language, or writing. So you can start with the easiest part that you want. Good. The third thing you should do during the exam is give more importance to questions that are given more marks. So again, give more importance to questions that are given more marks. So questions that, for example, are given more marks, so give them the importance. Okay, focus on them, concentrate on them. I don't say forget the other questions, but focus more on questions that that have more marks. Good. And the last thing you should do during the exam is you should revise your exam paper before you hand it in. Means before you leave the room, before you hand in your paper, it's better to review and to review your paper. Okay. Now it's time to see together things we shouldn't do during the exam. Things we shouldn't do during the exam. So the first thing you shouldn't do is don't use a pencil to write answers on exam paper. Don't use a pencil to write answers on the exam paper. So exam paper, don't use a pencil. You just use your pen, and it's better to use your blue pen or black pen. And don't use a red pen, of course, or a pencil. Good. Second thing you should avoid is you mustn't forget to write your name on all exam papers, please. So the first thing before taking the exam, please don't forget to write your name. Means your first name and your family name and your number and so on. So please don't forget, because if you forget them, you will have a problem. Maybe they will not know you and they will give you a terrible mark. So maybe they will write it at the end, or when they announce the result, you will find absence because of that. All right. The third thing you should avoid is you don't need to copy the questions on your exam paper. You don't need to repeat the questions again. You can say sometimes we have a problem to answer questions, so that's why I will repeat the same question. So it doesn't make sense. Okay, if you repeat it, it doesn't make any change. So it means you're gonna get a good mark. And the last thing you shouldn't do during the exam is you ought to spend more than enough time on difficult questions. Again, this is important. Again, you oughtn't spend more than enough time on difficult questions. Means you can get back to them later. If you for example, if you have a difficult question, so don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. You can get back later when you finish all the questions. You can get back later. So thank you very much. I hope these golden tips will be helpful and useful for you. So please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time with a new lesson.